It's your boy J. Lou, and you are just in time for something new. Alright, now in this video today, what I'm going to be talking about is what should you do after you get a fresh cut. Now, I know a lot of people typically ask me these questions, and in the past on my cut videos, I've mentioned it briefly, but I figured I'd make a standalone video so whenever people search on my channel, it's easier to find something that's all in one, you know what I'm saying? So with that being said, some of the things you're going to need when it comes to taking care of your hair after you get a haircut are the following things. The first one, this is optional. This is simply a rag that you can use to where you can put water on it. I typically recommend using cold water if you're gonna do this, but if you use warm or hot water, that's totally up to you. The next thing that you're gonna need, especially if you use a towel, is gonna be some kind of oil, you know what I'm saying? Now, the oil that I'm gonna be using, this is the Winter Wolf sauce by Legion Sauce, you know what I'm saying? It's more castor oil based. So with that being said, it'll give my hair a little bit of hold, as well as the castor oil has properties that kind of help fight against itching and all that stuff like that. The next thing I'm going to use is my HD Waves pomade. Now, even though it's a pomade, like I always say, HD Waves to me is more so a butter, and you don't need a lot. And then the next two items, you're going to need a medium brush as well as a soft brush. Now, depending on how low your haircut is, as well as how sensitive your scalp is, you may not even need a medium brush, you know what I'm saying? But with that being said, the last thing you're gonna need is a do-rag and a stocking cap. So let's not waste any more time and let's get straight into the video. Alright, now the first step after you get a fresh cut, a lot of people are typically concerned and they ask me the question,
hey yo J. Lou, should I wash my hair? Do you wash your hair? What should I do?
Now, there's two different things you can do depending on the approach. Like myself, I'll make sure I link my video about what I do before a haircut. If you're like me and you shampoo and condition your hair is already clean, you know what I'm saying? And if you go to a trustworthy barber that actually keeps their tools clean and everything like that, you don't have to worry about your hair being dirty, blah, 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 you know? So that's one of the reasons why I went to my boy Game Changer Shop, because I know he takes a lot of pride in regards to his craft as well as his tools. But if you go to a barbershop where you feel kind of iffy about how clean their tools and everything are, then you may want to go with the second route, which basically means you use a towel. Now, if you're like me, because my hair is already clean and everything like that, the only thing I'm really gonna do is basically use a soft brush. But I'm gonna go through the steps for the second process. What you wanna do is take a hand rag just like this, you know what I'm saying? And basically run it underneath some cold water. Now, the water can be cold or it can be lukewarm or whatever the case is, but you want to try to steer clear of using hot water, because hot water, what it typically does is it makes your hair expand a little bit, and depending on how low the cut is, it can be difficult to lay your hair down, you know what I'm saying? Now, one thing about my texture, after I get a haircut, if I've been woofing longer than 4 or 6 weeks, my hair typically wants to stick up, you know what I'm saying? So I'll have little hairs that want to stick up all over the place. So using the cold water will help me lay those hairs down, and at the same time it'll help me remove any dirt, sweat, or anything of that case or that nature, you know what I'm saying? So you just take the rag after you wet it up and just rub it in the direction of your pattern. Alright, after you're done with that, while your hair is still damp, what you want to do is basically take the castor oil and rub it through your head. And because it's a fresh cut, you don't have to use a lot. I would say probably use a dime size amount or a pinky size amount in regards to the product, you know what I'm saying? Now, with the Legion sauce, it comes with the droppers that you can basically use with these bad boys, where you can put them on the inside and then suck the oil out or whatever. And if you have one of the droppers, I recommend using anywhere between 4 to 6 tick marks basically on the dropper, you know what I'm saying? You can't really see it right now, but they have tick marks at every single location, so that's about 4 or 6 tick marks. So you just drop that into your hair like that, rub it into your hands just like this, and then pat it around your pattern. You want to start at your crown area because you want to be able to disperse the product all throughout your hair. Alright, now after you've done that, you can take your medium brush to basically distribute the oils all across your scalp and throughout your hair strands. But before you do that, make sure you wash your hands, because you don't want to grab a brush with oil on your hands. Alright, so I'm going to take my medium brush and basically just brush my pattern. Now with this step, you can basically just brush your hair until you brush all of the extra little strands of hair out if you did not get them out with the towel around, you know what I'm saying? Typically with the towel, it should knock all the loose hairs off, but like I said, if you do the first step by skipping using the towel, if you only use the soft brush, you basically soft brush all the loose hairs out of your pattern, you know what I'm saying? Some wavers don't like introducing water to their hair after a fresh cut because sometimes the water will help their hair over curl, or especially if you have a kinky and coilier type curl pattern, what you will notice is it'll make your hair want to curl up a little bit more, you know what I'm saying? So after a fresh cut, you want to make sure that your waves try to stay as laid as possible, because that's the whole point of basically going on a woof to get a fresh cut, is because you're trying to stretch your waves out to the maximum to be able to get that healthy, silky looking effect when it comes to your pattern, you know what I'm saying? So after that, after you brush the oil into your head and everything, all you got to do is simply take a butter of your choice or whatever the case is. I'm going to go ahead and use the HD waves. I'm going to use a little bit and I'm going to show you exactly what I'm going to do. All right, so with the HD waves, as you can see, I'm going to take, I'll show you about this much of it, you know what I'm saying? It's not a lot. It may seem like a lot, but one thing I always tell you guys is when it comes to my haircut, I keep my hair somewhat at a very long length, you know what I'm saying? So with that being said, this is just enough product. You have to experiment with your hair texture as well as your curl pattern and your hair length to be able to find out how much product you need. But just remember, less is more. And then you just simply put it in your hands and rub it around just like that. Now, when it comes to the pomade, whenever you put it in your pattern, you start off tapping off in your crown area, and then you lightly just move away from your crown area as such. Alright, now after you do that, make sure you wash your hands, and then you want to take your favorite medium brush and go back to brushing your pattern. Now, you can brush as long as you want. You can brush as little as 5 minutes. You can brush all the way for 30 minutes. You can brush for however long you want. My channel is all about being able to teach you guys that you don't have to brush hours on the day, because at the end of the day, I don't be having time like that. As a matter of fact, I gotta go to sleep in a little bit to be able to catch a plane in the morning time, you know what I'm saying? But I wanted to drop this video to be able to help you guys out, so check it out. Now, as a personal tip, you can brush way longer. It may be able to help certain people. If you guys remember, I made a video right here where I basically showed you guys how I was gonna brush my hair to break forks. By starting off on a fresh cut, I was able to get way better progress in regards to my left side, as you guys can clearly see, you know what I'm saying? So if you put in more work on the front end, when you get into your woof, you'll be able to see better results. And at the end of the day, whenever you get the cut, the connects will be a lot more deeper and defined, you know what I'm saying? Now, the next thing that you can do is you can basically use a soft brush all the way through, or you can just use your hands or your plastic bag to try to lay your hair down as much as possible before you put your do-rag on, as well as your stocking cap. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and use the Royalty 801. This is the Black Panther. This is also the brush that I blessed Game Changer with, you know what I'm saying? To me, hands down, this is my favorite softie in regards to 8-row brushes and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? So let's get into that. All right, now when you start brushing with a soft brush, what you wanna do is just take your time, you know what I'm saying? You don't have to rush your brush sessions. Longer brush sessions doesn't equal better progress. As long as your angles are always consistent during your brush sessions, that's one reason why my brush sessions are not very long. It's 15 minutes, 30 minutes every single day, and I can make faster progress than a lot of other people, you know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, it's all about maintaining the angles that you're trying to brush to be able to get the results you're looking for. When you're brushing fast, you really can't see if you're hitting your angles right. And sometimes you may think you are, but your head will be moving, or your hand will be moving in a weird situation. So I try to take my time. As you can see, when I brush, I don't have that bobblehead effect. Some people, when they brush their hair, they use their head instead of the brush to brush their waves. You want to use the brush to brush your waves. You don't want to put the brush in a certain spot and then just rub your head against it like that. I'll be seeing all kind of crazy stuff, you know what I'm saying? These are just some of the gems that you guys can use to be able to help take your waves to the next level. And then when I finish off the top, like I said, I just brush it very, very slow. with my pattern, I have a lot of different angles. A lot of people is basically saying, oh, you'll never be able to make this pattern come together. It's too many conflicting angles, yada, yada, yada. But at the end of the day, man, if you have a vision or a goal in mind, you have to strive for it and just tune out all the people that basically don't have the same level of belief as you. You know, some people are scared to try new things, and there's a lot of myths in the wave game because people, instead of trying it for themselves to figure out if it's true or not, they never tried it. So they basically came up with just a rumor about something, or they didn't take enough time to try to figure it out. With my channel, what I try to do is I try to experiment as long as possible to be able to see if something truly does work or if it's bogus, you know what I'm saying? And as you can see, my waves are a result of that effort. All right, now once you're done using the soft brush, this is when you simply take the do-rag and place it on your head and just rag up for the night. You can rag up for 30 minutes, or you can just go to sleep and take it off, or whatever the case is. Some people don't like taking their do-rags off. They like keeping their do-rags on unless they're brushing. I don't recommend doing that. I always suggest 30 minutes to be able to lay your hair all the way down, or just sleep with it, you know what I'm saying? So this would be something I would do right before bed, especially after a fresh cut, because at the end of the day, I'm not trying to wear a do-rag all day, especially after I got a fresh cut, because if I'm going out and traveling, I want people to be able to see my waves. So with that being said, I'm gonna rag up and show you what the waves look like 30 minutes after I've had it on my head. Alright, so as for me, this is how I rock my do-rags. I will make a video in the future in regards to the reason why I rock my do-rags like this, you know what I'm saying? But like I mentioned on Game Changer video, it basically, the do-rag allows me to be able to have that peel back effect, but at the same time, I get the maximum compression from the stocking cap, you know what I'm saying? So with that being said, y'all give me 30 minutes and I'm gonna show y'all the results and give y'all some last minute tips. Alright, so it's been about 30 minutes or more, you know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna unrag and show you guys the final results of the haircut, you know what I'm saying? Now, one thing I wanna say is typically when you go to the barbershop and you get an against the grain haircut, your hair may be sticking up, but all you have to do is basically go home and do this method and you'll be able to get the same results, you know what I'm saying? So without further ado, let's get into the unrag. Alright, so as you guys can see, my hair is fully laid down, you know what I'm saying? Now at this step, if you want to, you could just use a soft brush just to be able to brush your hair and whatever you want to do. But after I unrag, I'm not trying to brush it, you know what I'm saying? I'm basically just trying to show them things off, you know what I'm saying? As you can see, I'm going to spin around and show the rest of it. That's how my crown looking so far. I didn't really highlight the back taper. I probably got to brush down this little piece right here just from the stocking cap and everything like that. But this is the right side. You know what I'm saying? Now I ain't gonna lie, man. This has been one of the best low tapers as well as just blends. I told him how I wanted it and he just killed it, you know. So I ain't really get to show y'all. But I'm trying to grow my beard longer, basically higher at this point, because a lot of people have been asking me to connect it with my mustache, you know what I'm saying? I didn't want my mustache to connect all the way down here. I wanted it to be able to try to grow in right here, you know? So I'm gonna try to grow this whole entire area and fill this all in and everything like that. But until that point, I'm not gonna be rocking a stash. Now I know a lot of people on my sicko mode video, they kept asking me,
how in the heck your waves went from looking like that to basically how they look after?
This is the steps that I follow, you know what I'm saying? I basically shampoo and condition my hair before, go get my hair chopped up, and then this is the last step. Also at the same time, the reason why I do this process is because it helps lock in moisture, so I can go anywhere between 3 to 7 days without have to put anything into my hair, you know what I'm saying? So, but the last thing I want to say is, man, this was a really dope collab. I want to give a big salute to my boy Game Changer, you know what I'm saying? He's doing real big things, you know, basically being a pioneer and a leader within the Texas movement, you know. And at the end of the day, it was just an honor to be able to get my hair cut because it was in the exact year that I actually got chopped up by him, you know what I'm saying? So with that being said, if you guys have any comments, questions, make sure you leave them down in the comment section below, you know what I'm saying? You can always find me on Facebook, Instagram. Make sure you like the video if you enjoyed it, you know. And at the end of the day, feel free to share this bad boy if you feel like it'll help somebody else. With that being said, it's your boy J. Lou. Salute. Woo.
black leather interior. Since they got the keys, ace time criteria. Flow so cold, nickname Siberia. Waivers think they killing when they really are inferior. Almost like killing waivers. How you get there tripe? How you claim to be a lead but you ain't got no life? What seems hard to y'all